3D printing is the process of taking a digital file, a 3D object, in the computer and translating it to layers and using a machine to physically build that object in 3D space.
We wanted to make your hometown logo. We traced your logo, we extruded it 6 millimeters thick, and then we took that file, so now we have a three-dimensional shape. We took that file and we slice it up. And for this particular material, it cures under light. So then each outline of a layer is cooked, cured under light.
The technology of 3D printing has been around since the 70s. It started out used mainly by car manufacturers doing in-house prototyping. I became aware of 3D printing about 2 years ago. We've heard a lot about MakerBot in the news, and that's one of the first very public technologies that made 3D printing accessible to consumers. And I was looking at making a prototype for a dog toy. And I was looking online how I could make this possible, how I could make this thing happen, and saw some 3D printing stuff and saw some websites out there that were providing the service and really piqued my interest. My fellow co-founder Bryce and I had a conversation on the phone in January. I was in St. Louis at the time, and we talked about 3D printing and how exciting this technology was and how much it's going to change basically how we make, buy, and create stuff.
I had some things I wanted to make, prototype, I guess. Even though they were more toy-based, they weren't fancy engineering. It was like something I just wanted for my desk, and I could draw in Illustrator, I could draw in Adobe Photoshop and make graphics like that, and I was like, well, I want to touch, like Pinocchio, I want to touch it. And, so then in trying to figure out how to manufacture what I wanted to, 3D printing came into my understanding.
The whole technology of 3D printing is fairly intimidating. My background's in computer science, so I was a programmer, researcher at a university in St. Louis. So I had a technical background, but the things that I tackled when we started doing this were pretty daunting. Learned how to use 3D modeling software like Blender and Google SketchUp, some freely available tools out there to get myself off the ground and started, but it took a solid 6 months of studying and working before I became comfortable with the technology.
We're working with an engineering process. So there weren't salespeople involved, and I was a layman. They would talk about, for me, I would say, is it hard? And they would say, well, the tensile strength is 624 squared. And I'm like, is that hard or soft? Can I touch it? And they're like, well, we don't have so it really wasn't user-friendly to a layman.
At The Forge, our goal is to make 3D printing accessible to everyone. So we take care of the technical hurdles for you. And when you come in with an idea or a concept, we're the stepping stone from your imagination to the physical object.
If you've got something you want 3D modeled and you don't have the software, we can do the software. We have a 3D scanner, so if you wanted your face or a foot of a baby child, or you have a desktop Buddha you want to duplicate, we do the scanning here. And then of course we do have a printer that is lost wax castable. While this material is strong enough to put on your desk or use for a keychain, we can also, this was 3D printed and then we cast with brass with a jeweler down on the beach. So we actually are working with jewelry now too.
We want to be visible in the community. We really support downtown and its revitalization. And it's been a challenge to get people aware of us down here, feet on the ground kind of thing. We participate in Art Walk each month.
I'd like to see more equipment. I'd like to see more projects. I'd like to see more people. I'd like to see grandmas and geeks. I'd like to see young and old. I'm kind of ADD. I guess we're kind of ADD here on interest. So when you bring in, like we had a lady bring in a Aztec whistle. Oh, that was awesome. We got excited. It wasn't our project. We were just filling in a small piece of the puzzle for this lady, but we get excited by projects. So what do I want this place to just be exciting and fun for the people who walk in the door and for us on this side. And I'd like to see it grow to the point where we can establish a model and have multiple forges, almost like a franchise of 3D printing.
You can find Forge at forgejacks.com. You can connect with us on Facebook at facebook.com/forgejacks.
Forge is also like an attitude, because all those obstacles, and I started growing a beard from this. You think, you just start waking up and you're not even thinking about shaving because you've already got an obstacle that was left from the day before. Maybe that's what it means to own a small business. It's got to be what it's like to start a small family. So Forge is just kind of our mantra and how we keep going. Not knowing, are we going to get surpassed by the Walmarts, and is Best Buy going to come in, and some big scary corporation going to come, and technology just wipe us off of our feet. Between now and then, it's just Forge. As a verb, as an attitude, as a place.